Ja, was soll ich denn dazu sagen? Ähm, starten wir einfach. Number 3. In Gedenken an die himmlischen 100 der Ukraine. Ich kann das oben nicht lesen. Dr. John Watson. Den kenne ich nicht. Mrs. Hudson, die kommt mir bekannt vor. Der Schwarzpeter. Ach ne, weitere Untersuchung. Also das heißt, es wird kompliziert, das Spiel? Och nein. Ich nix komplizierter haben wolle. Ich will doch einfach nur spielen. Was mache ich da?
Holmes, will you stop that? You are utterly mad. Stop,
Alter.
Holmes.
Is that you, Watson?
Yes, of course it is.
Ja,
You almost killed me.
Nonsense. I was aiming for the vases.
Blindfolded?
Watson, quiet, please. I'm trying to concentrate.
kannst du die Vasen hören oder was?
Ah, Lestrade. What is it this time?
He can see me. Well, here it is, and it's a good one, Mr. Holmes. A gentleman by the name of Peter Carey, also known as Black Peter, has been murdered.
A sailor, most probably.
What happened here?
Oh, Mr. Holmes, how could you?
It's the only exercise I've had all
Weil ich
day.
nicht Flo war's.
A grateful client from Limoges sent me a vase collection this morning. I couldn't think of a better
Spiele ich jetzt Holmes oder spiele ich Watson?
You're out of your mind.
I missed 4 out of 10.
So laut und das Spiel so leise.
Given
Fortfahren.
you were
Besser jetzt?
blindfolded, that was very good. Can I have a try?
Am I the only sane one here?
I suppose that
Ich
Watson
habe mich
is
doch gar
right.
nicht lauter
Inspector.
gemacht.
A little brain work would be preferable now. Do please tell us more about Black Peter.
Peter Carey, born in 1845.
Warte mal, Spiel so leise. Bumm. Ach, geh auf die 60. 60, ja, fein. Oh komm, machen wir den auch noch auf 60.
And 50 years old. An ambitious sort, he achieved much success in seal and whale hunting around
Jetzt sollte es besser
Scandinavia.
sein.
Retired in 1884 with a small fortune. He invested his money in a property called Woodman's Lee, near Forest Row in Sussex. It was where he lived for 6 years, and where he was found dead yesterday.
Has the investigation already begun?
Yes and no. In fact, this crime is so mysterious that I would prefer you to join me down there.
Deutlich besser.
Give
Jetzt hört
me
man dich
half
gar
an
nicht
hour
mehr,
to
oder wie?
prepare, Inspector.
Take your time and join me there. I have to go through the yard first. The merry men struck again.
What have they done this time?
They robbed a powder reserve. I'll meet you at Woodman's Lee, Mr. Holmes.
I should help Mrs. Hudson here. I also have several appointments that I must keep this afternoon.
I shall go alone then.
Ah, ich spiele doch Holmes. Geil. Wo ist die Knarre? Tab. Wo ist die Knarre? Ich will die Alte erschießen. Ich will die Vasen erschießen. Untersuchen Sie den Mord an Peter Carey. Sehen Sie sich Tatort. Ein Anzug. Oh, Anzug. Ach, nee. Mit dem will ich nicht reden. Wer bist du? Bist du das? Nee. Kann ich nicht einfach so hingehen? Soll ich denn hier einen Anzug suchen? Tür zu Wohnzimmer. Kann ich hier einen Anzug von ihm klauen? Ne. Briefe. Forschungsberichte. Interessiert mich alles gar nicht. Oh, gut, dann.
I cannot leave yet.
Gut, dann gehen wir da hin. Ach, da bin ich ja. Oh. Beweise. Aus Ihrem Kleiderschrank. Wo ist der Kleiderschrank? Ach, du machst nicht so lang? Okay. Oh, da ist ja noch eine Tür. Oh, ich kann rennen. Oh. Ja, Kleiderschrank gefunden. Ich bin gut. Morgenmantel? Nein. Seemann? Oh. Zum Schminktisch? Brillen? Och, man, keine Monokel dabei. Und Abflug. Jetzt aber. Ja. Notizbuch, ja. Habe ich geöffnet. So, weiter.
Mr. Holmes, I'm over here. Come on.
Ich komme, wenn ich kommen will. Und nicht, wenn du es mir sagst, ja? So, hier sind Fußspuren. Da, siehst du die? Hier. Da, wo ich drauf trete. Da sind Fußspuren. Wo hältst du deine Lupe hin? Ah. Ich will nicht reden, ich will direkt rein.
Mr. Holmes?
Ja, was willst du?
Mr. Holmes?
Ja, ich sollte doch herkommen.
Mr. Hol
Scheiß Affenkopf. Ich komme da aber auch nie rein.
It seems that the garden was well maintained.
Tab. Mein Gott. Ja, schön, stell den doch ein. Kann ich hier rein? Ja, da ist ein Schloss vor.
Mr. Holmes? Mr. Holmes?
Sag mal, seid ihr Zwillinge? Du hast dieselbe Stimme sogar wie er.
Inspector Lestrade, when will you remove my husband's body? It's sacrilegious to leave him here like this.
As soon as we can, Mrs. Carey, I assure you. Allow me to introduce you to Mr. Sherlock Holmes. He's a detective. No doubt you've heard of him. I'll wait for you in front of the cabin, Mr. Holmes.
My condolences, Mrs. Carey.
Thank you, Mr. Holmes.
The garden is very large and well maintained. Do you employ someone to look after it?
It is true, there is a lot of work, but my husband took care of it himself.
Do you remember at what time you found your husband's body?
In the morning, at around 7 o'clock, I noticed the cabin door was open, but I didn't go in to take a look, for I knew my husband would not have liked it. At around 10 o'clock, I dared to glance in through the door and, oh dear.
Was your husband accustomed to receiving visitors?
Oh no, I don't think so. I mean, he didn't really have many friends. We lived quite an isolated life here, after his retirement.
Als was hat er denn gearbeitet?
Madam, can you tell me if you saw or heard anything unusual upon the night of the murder?
At 2 o'clock in the morning, I heard a terrible scream, but I thought nothing of it then. He would scream all the time when he was drunk.
Ah, ja, okay. Selbstmord.
Can you please tell me what occurred on the evening of the murder?
Well, Peter got drunk in the evening. He was in such a terrible temper. Usually whenever that happened, he'd stay all night drinking in his cabin before passing out.
Ja, diesmal ist er richtig angedöst, wa? Ja. Okay, die Schere hier nicht. Schwanger ist sie wohl nicht. Fehlt noch was. Da.
You have indeed suffered a great loss, Mrs. Carey. Nevertheless, I believe it will be less of a burden for you soon.
Yes, life with Peter was never easy, but he was still my husband.
He was different, wasn't he, when you first met him upon your return from Plymouth?
Yes, Mr. Holmes. Oh my goodness, but how do you know about that?
You have indeed suffered a great loss, Mrs. Carey. Nevertheless, I believe it will be less of a burden for you soon.
Yes, life with Peter was never easy, but he was still my husband.
He was different, wasn't he, when you first met him upon your return from Plymouth?
Yes, Mr. Holmes. Oh my goodness, but how do you know about that?
You undertook a pilgrimage to the Cathedral of Santiago de Compostela when you were young. That much is evident from the rosary in your hand. The shortest route for the pilgrim from England to Spain is from Plymouth. I believe that you met Peter Carey as a young sailor there, and you married him soon afterwards.
That is indeed what happened, Mr. Holmes. How extraordinary.
Thank you, madam.
Ha! Ich hab doch gesagt, ich bin der neue Holmes. Ich bin der Beste. Wo ist die Leiche? Ich will Leichen gucken.
Mr. Holmes?
Mr. Holmes. Mr. Holmes. Mr. Holmes. Wieder keine hin. Was machst du denn, Watson? Ah ne, Inspektor.
Peter Carey's body is inside the cabin. We took care not to touch anything.
Geht da doch rein. Oh ja.
The door is locked.
Wait just a moment, Mr. Holmes, and I'll open it. I locked it yesterday. to ensure that no one
Gestern.
should enter the cabin
Ey,
and
Alter.
tamper with the evidence.
Das wird stinken.
Ah, good thinking.
Hello, hello, hello.
What is it, Lestrade?
It seems to me that someone has tried to force it, Mr. Holmes.
Let me see.
Oh ja, Kratzspuren. Man sieht es eindeutig. Da sind Kratzer.
These scratches are fresh. You're right. Someone tried to force open the door.
I swear these scratches were not here yesterday.
Our mysterious visitor came here last night.
Well, he's not the man for the job. This lock is not a difficult one.
Perhaps he did not have the right tool. What a terrible way to die.
Das sieht aber lustig aus.
The weapon fully penetrated the body. The force of the blow was immense. Peter Carey was impaled to the wall by a whaling harpoon. This man is in his 50s, yet he still looks quite strong. Peter Carey was fully dressed. He was not caught by surprise. It is possible that he knew his murderer. The pattern of the blood stain indicates that the notebook was not lying on the floor prior to the crime, but it was dropped into the pool of blood after the death of Peter Carey.
Was ist denn hier oben? Blut und da an der Seite nichts mehr. Der Blatt Gold ist nicht mal mit Blut.
JHN are probably the initials of the owner of this notebook. These abbreviations mean something, but what? This blood is from the pool underneath the dead body. This wooden handle is plain and solid. Peter Carey tried to defend himself with this knife, but he did not succeed.
Die waren zu zweit unterm Alkohol.
A sailor's drink. Someone drank from this glass recently. It seems that Captain Carey was enjoying a drink before he met his death. The initials PC have been crudely burned. A sailor's work. This aroma is familiar, but to recognize it, I must construct my associations in one picture.
Junge, das ist ein Boot. Kante da unten, die kriege ich nicht passend hin. Doch muss schon so rum. Ich muss das einzeln so noch bewegen. Moment. Wenn ich das dann so mache? Ach so, kann ich nur so. Okay, dann. Mhm. Ich habe keine Ahnung, wohin mit der Pfeife. Die Pfeife weiß ich, wohin mit der Pfeife. Normalerweise kommt das doch dann so hin. Das dann vorne dran, ne?
Yes. This is a coarse tobacco, quite strong and very popular among sailors. Peter carries boots. Old navigation instruments. The murder weapon was probably taken from this rack. The Sea Unicorn. She was the ship that Peter Carey commanded.
Was ist ein B? Okay.
The tooth of a sperm whale. Probably. This place is not covered with dust, like the rest of the shelf. An object was taken from here. It was larger than a book. A box or a small chest, perhaps.
Mhm.
The ship's logs of the Sea Unicorn for the years 1878 to 1884. Peter Carey was her captain.
Der hätte durch das Fenster auch gehen können.
Hammerfest. Dundee. It's a whaling map.
Have you finished inspecting the crime scene?
Weiß ich nicht. Ich würde mal jetzt sagen, ja. Was fehlt denn jetzt noch? Beino haben wir, Tischi haben wir, Schildi, Trui. Die Logbücher
The
will er
ship's
nicht.
logs of the Sea Unicorn for the years 1878 to 1884. Peter Carey was her captain.
Was ist das mit dem die ganze Zeit? Will ich doch gar nicht. Hä? Ich verstehe gar nicht. Wie kann ich das denn abwählen hier? Ah, so kann ich es abwählen. Okay. Erstmal das da mit dem da. Okay. Wenn der Einbrecher so blöd ist und nochmal
Ah,
kommt.
someone was here yesterday. They attempted to force the door to gain entry.
Well, Mr. Holmes, what do you think?
I think that we are lucky
And why is that?
because of last night's attempted break-in.
Oof, you've lost me.
It is very probable that whoever came here hoped to find the door open. They tried to force it with a knife blade, but they failed. What will they do? Why, return tonight, when they will be better prepared.
Aha! So what do you propose?
We shall remain on the outside, near the window, where we stand the best chance of catching sight of our visitor. Well, gentlemen, ready your pistols. We have a long night ahead of us.
Ich versteck mich im Boot. Okay, ich versteck mich nicht im Boot. Ah, jetzt kann ich. Ah, jetzt habe ich es auch verstanden, wie das geht. Zu klein.
These boots don't match the footprints. These footprints appear to be quite large. This looks like the perfect hiding place.
Wow, was für ein Versteck. Am Fenster direkt. Super. Das Boot hätte mir mehr gefallen.
Shh! Did you hear that? There's someone there. I'm gonna collar him.
I'll be right behind you.
Police! Hold it right there! All right, my fine fellow. Who are you and what are you doing here?
You're detectives, I suppose. You imagine that I'm connected with the death of Captain Carey. I assure you I'm innocent.
Sagen
Innocent?
sie alle.
And what are you doing in his cabin?
Shall I tell you? You came to retrieve what you had lost after killing Peter Carey, but we were here waiting for you.
What is your name?
John Hopley Nelligan, but I didn't...
Do you deny that you came here yesterday?
No, but yes, it's just that I couldn't...
I'm tired of this. Off we go to the yard. Tomorrow, I'll see that you're put in front of the judge.
What? But you can't! I'm not... It's a terrible mistake!
Enough. You can explain all of that to the judge. You're coming with me to the yard.
But...
In light of recent events, it seems evident
Der hat
that
doch
your
noch nicht mal
coming here was
Kampfspuren.
unnecessary. All the same, I'm very grateful to you, Mr. Holmes.
You are welcome, Inspector, but please don't be too hard on our young fellow. I would like to question him tomorrow morning.
Was?
Good morning, Mr. Holmes. Can I help you?
Der hat sich
Good morning,
geportet.
Constable. I would like to speak to the fellow who was arrested at Woodman's Lee last night.
Ist ein Alien.
Ah, the young man. He's waiting in the interrogation room. You can go straight through. His belongings are held in the evidence room.
Thank you.
Mr. Holmes?
Die hören sich alle gleich an.
These are the suspect's belongings. The notebook that we found on Peter Carey's cabin floor. These abbreviations mean...
In welchem Jahr sind wir überhaupt?
1883. From R. Dawson. A handkerchief with the initials J.H.N. A pocket knife. It was used to force the door of... These abbreviations mean...
Ist aber immer noch nicht grün. Warum nicht?
These are the sus... These abbreviations...
Womit hat er noch nicht grün markiert?
To my friend, Dawson. I've seen this name before. Perhaps my archive holds the answer.
Ach so, das war's. Gut. Stuffroom, Wo ist denn hier der Verhörraum? Bin ich zum Inspektor. Was ist hier? Truth Ratio, das hört sich schon besser an hier. So, Alter. Wo warst du gestern? 10 Uhr.
The police seized this valuable ring from you. Whose is it?
I didn't steal it from anyone. It has always belonged to me.
The ring's date of engraving is many years ago. You would have been a child then, hardly in any position to receive such an item from a partner. The sea knife was found near Carey's body. Tell me, Mr. Nelligan, did Mr. Carey try to defend himself or to attack you with it?
I don't know. I didn't kill anyone.
Does this notebook belong to you?
Yes. But where did you find it? I did not know... I thought I'd lost it at the hotel.
What do these abbreviations mean?
Oh, no. I beg you, I can't. If I told you, it would only make things worse.
But I will find out eventually, Mr. Nelligan.
Das sind die Namen, die er noch umbringen will. Erstmal das da. dann da? Warte mal, irgendwas dazwischen fehlt doch dann noch. Hier zwischen. Und ganz vorne. Stimmt, dass er kein Bart hat, wa? Oder wie?
So, Mr. Nelligan, who is the true owner of the ring?
The ring is mine. The ring is mine.
No, Mr. Nelligan. I believe that the ring had belonged to your father.
Oh, but how do you know?
The jacket you are wearing is made of an expensive fabric that only a man of exceptional wealth could afford. You do not seem to me to be a rich man, Mr. Nelligan. Furthermore, the garment is ill-fitting. It is quite clear that it belonged to someone else, most probably your father. With your father gone and taking with him the family's wealth, as a little boy you had to find yourself a manual job, and it was most probably cleaning fish. You cut your hands often while working. I can tell from the scars.
I'm speechless, Mr. Holmes. It all happened exactly as you say.
Tja,
Well, I will see you soon, young man.
ich bin ja
Please
auch
let
in
me
Wirklichkeit
go.
Doc.
I'm innocent.
Noch mehr? Einbruch und das. Da.
I need to stage a reconstruction. I'm sure that Watson would be happy to oblige.
Oh, du willst das doch nicht an Watson ausprobieren. Kann ich jetzt Watson aufspießen? Hey, Watsi! Lust aufgespießt zu werden? Oh,
Brave Toby. The best nose?
oh, Watsi. Ich spieße die auf.
A spot of whaling, Watson. Would you care to take part?
Are you serious?
No. But we do need to clarify what happened on the night of Black Peter's murder.
A reenactment, then? Is something bothering you?
The sailor's knife, Watson. Why was it on the floor?
Peter Carey attempted to defend himself?
It is possible. But if that is the case, then it alters many things.
I don't quite follow you.
Tell me, my friend, what is the animal closest to man, morphologically, I mean?
Ah, I see what you're getting at, Holmes. You asked me that once before, on the Ripper case, I believe. Do you want to slit some more pigs' throats?
No.
Thank goodness for that.
I wish to impale one with a harpoon.
Wonderful.
Watson, let us pay a visit to our butcher friend in Whitechapel. We require the carcass of a well-fed pig.
And the harpoon?
One of the harpoons on the wall of Black Peter's cabin should do quite nicely.
Also muss ich wieder dahin und noch eine holen. Ah nee, okay. Der hat das schon
I
alles
need to
gemacht.
take a harpoon.
Nee, doch nicht, sag ich doch. Das heißt, ich muss da erstmal. Oh Mann, oh Mann, oh Mann. Nee, warte mal, das war gar nicht das Haus da. So, hier die Hütte. Irgendwie kriege ich Hunger, wenn ich das so sehe.
That should do it.
Ja.
Well, here we are in the preparation room. I can't say that I like the smell of it much. What do you intend to do?
To indulge myself in a little experiment. The challenge of lancing a pig's carcass with a heavy harpoon.
A little experiment?
Stand aside, Watson. This might be dangerous. I am not well practiced in this exercise. Yet.
Holmes, you should aim for the mark in order to perform the most reliable test.
Watson, lass mich machen. Ich bin Harpunenprofi. Scheiße, ist das hier am Wackeln. Junge, Alter.
Holmes, you should try to aim better and throw.
Könnte noch ein bisschen besser sein.
This is the
Doc,
best
alle guten
possible
Dinge sind
result
drei.
that I could get. Do you see, Watson? Throwing a harpoon and pinning a man to a wall requires either exceptional strength and training or diabolical luck.
If it was luck, then it was a chance in 1,000 that night.
Well, yes. Let us leave now.
All right. But before we go, I suppose I'll have to pay for all these carcasses you've happily mangled.
Very well, but please hurry.
Of course.
Zahl du mal, ich zerstöre. Dann müsste ich doch jetzt hier eigentlich wieder hin. Das dem Bulli sagen da. Ja, der ist das ja gar nicht. Ist der hier? Stuff Room. Glaube ja. Ja, okay. Inspect.
Locked. Locked.
Arschloch der. Das. Kann ich da eine Knarre holen? Oh, Leichen. Hätte ich doch hier machen können. Wäre auf jeden Fall realistischer gewesen.
am I doing here? I've done nothing wrong.
Nimm den Knüppel und schlag zu. Okay, dann kann ich hier wohl doch nichts machen. Da habe ich doch alles soweit gemacht hier. Ja, aber wo ist dieser Inspektor Lestrade?
Lock.
Hey Monkey, wo ist
Mr.
der?
Holmes?
War klar, dass ich ja keine Antwort kriege von dem. Hey
At your
Monkey.
service, Mr. Holmes. At your service, Mr. Holmes.
Ja, merke ich. Holmes?
Mr. Holmes?
Ist denn der Typi?
Good gracious, you caught someone. At least now you have a suspect.
Moment mal, kann das die Frau gewesen sein? Dass die Frau ihren eigenen Mann da aufgespießt hat? Ist das möglich? Gerade alt sieht die ja nicht aus. So.
Is this your husband's tobacco pouch?
I'm not sure. It might be, but he hadn't smoked in a very long time.
Your husband's private papers. Do you know where they are?
There was a small tin box, barely larger than a book. He kept his papers there. It should be somewhere in his cabin.
Thank you, madam.
Ich hoffe, es gibt zum Schluss nicht Punkte noch dafür.
The ship's logs of the Sea Unicorn for the years 1878 to 1884. Peter Carey was her captain.
Ich muss doch hier irgendwas übersehen haben, oder nicht? Nee, falsch. Ah, ich will die Taste nicht. Mann. Lass uns den doch einfach verhaften und zack zum nächsten Auftrag, ey. Kassier die Kohle, die du willst und fertig. Hm? Deal? Nein?
doing here? I've done nothing wrong.
Der will immer noch nicht reden. Und du bist immer noch nicht da. Was soll ich noch machen? Ich weiß nicht mal, wo das Archiv ist. Habe ich ein Archiv zu Hause? Forschung. Oh, Moment. Ah. Forschungsberichte.
That is not the one I need. That is not. That is not. That is not. That is not. That.
Was brauchst du denn dann? Was hat denn das mit dem Ring zu tun sonst noch? Hä? Ah, ich kann hier auch noch umschalten. Ja, jetzt. Da haben wir es doch.
Here it is. Now I begin to understand that young man's story, but I am still unclear as to what connects him with the murder. It is time to ask him.
Dann auf zum Pisskind. Was wolltest du da? Spuck aus!
I have heard the story of Dawson and Nelligan, the West Country bankers.
Yes, Joshua Nelligan was my father.
I am aware that it had a bad ending. When the bank failed, it ruined half the families of Cornwall, whereupon Joshua Nelligan disappeared.
My father was under extraordinary pressure. Dawson had retired. I was only 10 years of age at the time, but it was still old enough to feel the shame that befell our family. My father was convinced that he could pay off all his debts if the creditors gave him time. He set sail for Hammerfest in Norway in his small yacht, just a few days before an arrest warrant was issued. He left my mother a list of the securities he was taking. No word was ever heard from him again. We believe that his vessel went down, taking with it everyone and everything on board.
Thank you for the story, Mr. Nelligan. At last, we are making some progress. Interesting. Joshua Nelligan and Peter Carey were both at sea in Norway. There is definitely some connection between
Musst du
Peter
das
Carey
sagen, wenn der
and
Messer hier
Joshua
dabei ist?
Nelligan's disappearance.
Mensch, das können wir hier machen, aber doch nicht da drinnen. Sherlock, Sherlock, Sherlock. Okay, Schiffslogbuch. Holen wir, holen wir. Ja, ja, holen wir. Och Mann, ey, diese Ladedinger, ne? Junge, ich hab genug RAM. Hau alles da rein, dann brauchst du nicht mehr laden.
(1883). That's the one I need. This is the crew list of the Sea Unicorn. Log notes for June. Nothing unusual. Log notes for July. Nothing special. Log notes for August. These pages have been torn away. Canadian Pacific Railway, CPR. A torn piece from a bond certificate. I have seen this abbreviation somewhere very recently. There are 3 ways of discovering what happened in August of 1883 aboard the Sea Unicorn. The first 2 of these will require speaking with a dead man. The last would be to locate vital witnesses, the sailors involved in this whale hunt campaign.
Dann lass mich doch mal gucken, wer dabei war nochmal. Baker Street. Oh, ey, ich hol mir jetzt was zu futtern, ey. Das kann ich mir nicht mal antun, die ganze Zeit Werbung da zu gucken. Chips kann ich ja nicht essen, das würde euch ja noch stören. Nehmen wir das einfach mal raus. Das einfach mal raus. Man sollte auch noch Brot holen. Sonst wird das nichts. So, jetzt habe ich wenigstens bei Ladebildschirm was zu tun, ey. Das ist ein Spiel, da kann ich fett werden. Hey Doc, warum wiegst du auf einmal 100 Kilo?
I have the
Ich habe
list of
Sherlock Holmes
sailors who
gespielt.
were aboard the Sea Unicorn. We shall soon learn what happened to Nelligan's father. I have only to find them. Let us hope they are still working at the harbour.
I think that if you pretend you're from Scotland Yard...
I doubt it, Watson. And really, I would prefer that all of this remains quiet for now. But I have another solution. I'll call in the specialist.
And who might they be?
The secret police division of Baker Street.
Ah, you mean young Wiggins and his gang?
Yes. Believe me, you'll receive more useful assistance from these little urchins than from a dozen yard detectives. Those children are everywhere. They see and hear everything, and they are cunning. All they lack is organization. I'll summon them.
How will you do that?
There is always a watch beneath our window. I have only to call him.
Wie soll ich den anrufen? Gibt es überhaupt ein Telefon hier? hier ein Telefon? Ja, aber ich bin doch in der Baker Street.
My analysis table. It is useful for my work. Brave Toby.
So kann man den auch rufen. Ich dachte jetzt anrufen mäßig.
Wiggins, could you come upstairs, please?
At your service, Mr. Holmes.
Wiggins, I need you to track down certain people for me. I'll give you a list. You can read, can't you?
Big Oliver from our gang. He can, because his father is the coachman of a famous lawyer.
Fascinating. Here is the list of sailors.
Sailors? Easy. Just got to look where the rum and the red lights are.
Sorry to trouble you, Mr. Holmes, but the inspector asks that you come to the station as soon as possible.
Thank you. I'll be there shortly.
Ja. Lestrade war doch hier der Inspektor.
Mr. Holmes, I'm glad to see you.
Ich weiß selbst, wie ich heiße.
What happened?
We have a new suspect, Liam Hurtley. I'm thinking that this case will be resolved very quickly now.
Interesting. Pray tell.
Well, the constable that I left at Woodman's Lee noticed a suspicious individual prowling around during the night.
Do you have him here?
Yes, he refuses to speak with us, but we'll make him talk.
Let us hope so.
Ah, yes, and one more thing. The constable told me that at the time of his arrest, the fellow was writing a letter.
Do you have it?
Of course. It's in the evidence room, at your disposal. Admit that for once, Mr. Holmes, Scotland Yard is a step ahead of you, right?
Breathtaking.
Jo. Also wieder ab in die Avasatkammer. Oder wie auch immer. Ne, Quatsch, da war die nicht. Das war das auch nicht. Da war das.
These are the suspect's belongings.
Erstmal
Liam
die einpacken.
Hurtley.
Genau.
The stain.
Alles einpacken. Dann erstmal da wieder hin. Genau. Und dann schauen wir mal, ob die Schuhe passen. Ich könnte doch eigentlich auch den Kleinen einfach so, ne, einsperren. Hätte ich auch nichts drum bei. Ist der Mörder zwar noch auf freien Fuß, aber hey. Mein Job ist getan. Zum Teil. Passt.
These boots match the footprints exactly.
Ich hab's gewusst. Der Kleine war's nicht. Und wieder reisen. Hey, jede Minute sehen wir dasselbe Bild. Wir reisen. Schön, Sherlock. Solltet ihr dieses Bild 100-mal gesehen haben, habt ihr Sherlock Holmes durchgespielt. Gut, dass das Spiel kostenlos ist. Zumindest zur Zeit. Hier ist ja gar keiner.
Please escort this suspect for interrogation.
Wow, ich sag einmal was
Allow
nur die
me to
hören.
introduce myself. My name is Sherlock Holmes. I would like to ask you a few questions.
I've already told the police that I've nothing to say. And you're not even part of the police.
Precisely, and considering your situation, it might be wise to speak with someone who is, shall we say, rather more neutral. You are a suspect in a murder case.
I know. Inspector Lestrade told me. It's ridiculous.
Could you at least tell me who you are, and exactly what happened that you should be brought here?
My name is Liam Hurtley. That I can tell you. But you're not getting any more than that.
Well, we shall see. Tell me, Mr. Hurtley, what were you doing at Woodman's Lee?
Woodman's Lee? I've never been there.
The second pair of boots that you had with you when you were arrested perfectly match the footprints found near the cabin where Peter Carey was murdered.
Ganz genau.
Footprints?
Ich hab's getestet.
That's your proof? How many men have boots like mine? That doesn't make me a murderer.
Da hat er auch wieder recht. Dann werde ich dich doch mal genau unter die Lupe nehmen. Hässliche Mütze. Okay. Hm? Was ist das? Alte Narbe. Okay, hast nochmal Glück gehabt. Was ist das? Ach, kannst behalten. Ich habe ganz vorne hab ich was verpasst. Irgendwo muss doch hier noch was sein. Ich sehe hier nichts Auffälliges irgendwie. Hände eines Gärtners.
Now that your presence at Woodman's Lee has been proven, would you care to explain it?
I don't remember. What would I be doing there anyway?
Ja, woher soll ich denn das wissen?
Because you are the gardener at Woodman's Lee.
I'm not. How did you...
I observed your hands. They told me that you work with the earth. Small fragments of plants snagged to your trousers indicate that you were mowing very recently. But the most obvious clue presented itself in the bird embroidered on your handkerchief. A crested tit, if I'm not mistaken.
all right, you got me. Yes, I am a gardener, and I went there to get my tools.
That's all for now.
Hä? Die Alte hat doch gesagt, es gibt's keinen. Bin ich jetzt blöd? Also ne, Alte, ich lasse mich nicht von irgendeiner Frau anlügen hier. Das gibt's nicht. Ja, eigentlich auch nicht vom Kerl, aber ist ja egal.
Does the name Liam Hurtley mean anything to you?
No, I don't know anyone by that name.
Thank you, madam.
Klar, du kennst keinen mit dem Namen. Mhm. Dafür bin ich jetzt hier hingefahren. Scheiße. Ja. Moment, analysieren, genau. Ich habe doch diesen Analysetisch da gesehen.
I need to prepare a chemical agent that is capable of removing fresh ink. For this purpose, the chemicals from the flasks should be combined in a certain order to perform a chain reaction.
Das ist doch kein
First
Problem.
condition, all 7 reagents should be used. Second condition, orange reagent should be the third one in the sequence after the blue reagent. Third condition, colorless reagent should be added after the orange reagent.
Doch fertig. Ach nee, die müssen ja alle benutzt werden. hat er
No,
gesagt.
something isn't right. I need to start the reaction from the beginning again.
Kannst du mir noch mal die Tipps sagen? Wäre nett.
First condition, all 7 reagents should be used. Second condition, orange reagent should be the third one in the sequence after the blue reagent.
Ja.
Third condition, colorless reagent should be added after the orange reagent.
Hä? Ich soll die als dritte, das heißt erste, zweite oder erste, zweite. Oder nee. Erst das. Dann das. Dann das. Und dann das. Und dann
No,
weiß ich nicht.
something isn't right. I need to start the reaction.
Och Mann. Nochmal.
First condition, all 7 reagents should be used. Second condition, orange reagent should be the third one in the sequence after the blue reagent. Third condition, colorless reagent should be added after the orange reagent.
Hä? Yes?
First condition. All 7 reagents should be used. Second condition. Orange reagent should be the 3rd one in the sequence after the blue reagent. Third condition. Colorless reagent should be added after the orange reagent.
Ah, okay. Dann nehmen wir erstmal blau. Nach blau nehmen wir, richtig? Blau. Nach blau nehmen wir, richtig? Grün. Und jetzt nehmen wir orange. Und dann weiß. Oder hätte ich zweimal orange nehmen müssen und dann weiß?
No, something isn't right. I need to start the reaction from the beginning again.
Okay, dann hätte ich zweimal orange nehmen müssen und dann weiß. Nee, Quatsch, geht auch nicht. Ich muss ja direkt nach orange-weiß nehmen. Das heißt, ich habe die Lösung, genau. Blau. Dann nehmen wir grün. Grün ist nämlich das Weiß. Dann nehmen wir blau, weil blau ist wieder dieses Orange. Danach kann ich dann wieder Weiß nehmen. So, jetzt nehmen wir Orange wegen dem Blau nach dem dritten. Dann hatten wir die grüne Farbe genommen. Das heißt, wir können dann ruhig das da nehmen. Dann nehmen wir wieder Orange. Das war halt vor 3 Stufen halt das Blau. Und dann können wir jetzt wieder Weiß nehmen und ich bin Sherlock Holmes. Kniet vor mir.
Done. Now I can proceed further.
Das ist geil.
Let us see if the content of this letter sheds a little light upon the mystery. I did as you asked and hid them well. Interesting. How would Hurtley react to this?
Aha. Damit fetze ich den jetzt gegen die Wand. Hab zwar keine Ahnung, was er damit sagen will, so wirklich. Aber ey, ich fetze ihn an die Wand. Ich wollte mir gerade noch eine Schnitte Brot machen. So, wo ist der Typ? Ist er da noch? Nein.
Please
Ab.
escort.
Rein damit, ja, aber zackig, du Hund.
So tell me, Mr. Hurtley, what did you hide?
Richtig.
Hide? What are you talking about?
Brief.
I did as you asked and hid them well. Should I continue?
My letter? But the ink? That's
Nichts ist
impossible.
unmöglich.
A touch of chemistry, nothing special.
Well, you're a smart one. But it's nothing. If you want to know, I was referring to my tools. It was to do with my work, see?
I will check that, Mr. Hurtley. That's all for now. Hurtley's stories are false leads, but now I know one thing for certain. I must examine the site where the garden tools are kept at Woodman's Lee.
Hat er recht, ne? Ich habe da irgendwie nichts gesehen von. Ich wüsste jetzt nicht, wo irgendwie da Gartenwerkzeug war. Da in der Hütte, da oben in der Hütte könnte es sein. Hey Alter, wo Werkzeug?
Madam, we have information that the valuable stolen papers are hidden amongst the garden tools here at Woodman's Lee. We need to find them.
Oh my. Our tools are kept inside the shed that's right behind me. Here is the key to open it.
Thank you, madam.
Danke, Madam.
Let's see what could be hidden here.
Kiste. Die sieht für mich doch von der Größe so aus, die da verschwunden ist. Für ihn wohl nicht. Oh, was haben wir denn da? Die Kiste, die verschwundene. Oh, sieh mal da, es fehlt ein Schlüssel.
Let us see what is in this box.
Da ist der Anfang. Dann. Ah. Ganz passend tut das nicht. Wow. Ich bin gut. Er hatte eine andere
A
Verehrerin.
bundle of letters in a woman's hand with the Carey family monogram. Hurtley and Mrs. Carey were in a relationship. That is interesting.
Ah. Sie hatte also ein Verhältnis. Komm her, du. Schäm dich.
Madam, I am aware of your affinity.
Zur Strafe
with Liam
trinke ich ein
Hurtley.
Energy.
Oh, what are you talking about?
Brief.
Mrs. Carey, we found your letters.
My letters? I asked Liam to return them to me. I wanted to burn them.
Why did Mr. Hurtley put them inside the garden shed?
I don't know. I wanted them back, but I couldn't see him, not after what happened.
Well, here they are.
Oh, this is terrible. Terrible. Liam, how could he? After what he has done.
You believe that he killed your husband?
No, I do not know. I do not know. Leave me alone, please.
Thank you, madam. I wonder if Wiggins has managed to find any sailors.
Also, die haben sich verliebt und er hat dann wegen Liebe den Typen ermordet? Ha, der Gärtner war's. Wie immer. Immer war das der Gärtner oder der Butler
Mr.
oder der
Holmes,
Floh.
we found the sailors from that list you gave us.
Well done, Wiggins. Let me see. This man is a harpooner, and his initials are PC, the same initials that were found on the tobacco pouch.
Hat er recht, ja doch.
Wiggins,
Auf dem
could you
Tabak war
gather
das,
some
genau.
information on one of the sailors that you found? His name is Patrick Cairns.
We found Patrick Cairns.
Good job, Wiggins. Where is he?
He lives in a small furnished dump of a room, but he's always at the Sea Witch pub, where he does arm wrestles for money and drinks.
Excellent. Here is your reward. 2 guineas.
Thank you, sir.
Und man kann nicht sagen, dass ich geizig bin, ne?
If I wish to speak to Cairns without alarming him, I had better dress as a sailor.
Kein Problem. Ich habe hier so Seemannskleidung gehabt. Ich glaube 3 nach links. Da, sag ich sogar. 3 nach links.
Now I can approach Cairns and see if he recognizes the
Wo bist du denn? Ach, das bist du doch hier.
Hello there. Are you Cairns?
What do you want?
We've heard all about the gambling on arm wrestling here. You seem like the likely sort, and I'm up for it.
I start at 10 shillings.
Suits me.
geht das nicht? Ah, ich glaube, ich hab's jetzt raus. Ja, was nu, Kleiner, hä? Ja, was denn, hä? Bam!
You were lucky. I wasn't focused. Let's go again.
Doppelt oder nix? Okay.
I'm ready to try again.
Fine. If you want me to take all your money, no problem with that.
Bam! Ja, ich hab's jetzt verstanden, Alter.
Well, good for you, I reckon. You're stronger than you look. Here's your 10 shillings.
I'd like to buy you a drink.
Good winner
Das
as
hört er gerne.
well. That's good. Let's have a drink. You're a good type. Seems you've managed to settle down in life. You've got money, eh?
Not all that much.
Oh, well. At least you're not as poor as me.
Why do you say poor? You're not working?
I'm a harpooner. But you see, the whalers are rare. They don't pay much. So, as a result, find myself arm wrestling to pay for my drink.
Ja, und?
A
Gibt's noch
harpooner.
andere Sachen noch?
Interesting. You've had a lot of adventures, I bet.
Of course. It's been a dozen years since I've sailed. I've seen everything. Old Wallace, damn Black Peter, Great Roger. We sailed to the Cape of Good Hope.
Black Peter, you say? I've heard rumors about that one.
He was the worst of them all. He was a liar and violent too, swinging those fists of his around. He was a tyrant and not much of a captain. At least, not as good as Great Roger.
I see. Yes. I was told terrible tales about Black Peter.
But you ain't heard the worst.
Komm, trink noch ein.
And let's have another drink.
It was in 1883 that it happened. The August of that year. Peter Carey was captain of the Sea Unicorn, and I was a spare harpooner. We were coming out of the ice pack on our way home. One evening, we saw a little craft that had been blown north. There was only one man on her, and he wasn't a sailor. The crew must have thought that she'd foundered, and they made for the Norwegian coast in the dinghy. I guess they all drowned. We took the man on board.
Ja, und? Da war er bei euch auf dem Boot.
And
Ja.
who was he?
I dunno. During the crossing, he and the skipper enjoyed some long talks. His baggage was just a tin box.
That's strange enough.
Aye. Even stranger was that on the second night, he disappeared. Nobody knew what happened to him. And of course, nobody could ask Black Peter about it.
You know what happened, don't you?
I do. I saw the skipper tie his heels and push him over the rail in the middle of my watch on that dark night. 2 days before we sighted the Shetland lights.
Black Peter's a murderer.
Aye. Those that know him wouldn't be surprised to hear it. But all this must stay between us. All right?
Of course.
Verstehe ich nicht. Wusste der Typ etwa, was da drin war, oder wie? Naja, er muss es ja gewusst haben. Erstmal Ohrring. Dann. Ja, da. Okay. Das nicht. Dann Loch. Irgendwas fehlt hier schon wieder zwischen. Ohrring haben wir ja. Aha. Er ist Raucher.
Back in a second. I'm off to the Kazi.
I'll be here with my drink.
Here it is.
Ja, und jetzt?
Have you got any tobacco? I've run out of mine.
Nah, I lost my pouch. I don't know where. Wait a minute. What's this?
Oh, is this your tobacco pouch?
Well, oh, it is.
Well, I have to go now. I know
Also
a
war er
captain
dort
who's
gewesen.
planning an expedition to Cape Cod. Captain Ahab's his name. He commanded the Pequod. He might need good harpooners. I'll tell him about you.
Maybe, if you like,
I'm done here. It's time to leave.
Dann müsste ich doch jetzt hier den Bullen Bescheid sagen eigentlich. Naja, wegen meiner Kleidung wird er vielleicht doof gucken. So. Gib mir 10 Sekunden, dann geht's weiter. Danke. So, jetzt kann's weitergehen. Inspektor. Hey. Hey, du.
How is the investigation going, Mr. Holmes? Do you have any idea who the murderer is yet?
Ja,
How is
hab
the
ich.
investigation going, Mr. Holmes? Do you have any idea who the murderer is yet?
Ist das ein Scherz? Sitzt da schon einer?
I'm not saying another word.
What am I doing here? I've done nothing wrong.
Da hinten?
Mr. Holmes?
Sie sind's gewesen. Oder, ja, aber die Frau, die kann auch nichts wissen über den Typen. Ja. Ah. Habe ich hier noch mal irgendwo so 2 Dinger? Ich muss das auswählen. Okay. Das wusste ich jetzt nicht. Aber gut. Heul nicht.
Leave me alone, please. Leave me alone, please. Leave me alone, please.
Kann ich daraus einen Remix machen?
Leave me alone, please. Leave me. Leave me. Leave me. Leave me.
Heul doch. Was soll ich denn jetzt noch machen? Ich verstehe nicht, was ich noch machen soll.
You met Patrick Cairns, the harpooner. Do you believe he's the murderer?
Ja. Oder muss ich jetzt zu dem... Genau, ich habe es ja jetzt ausgewählt. dass ich vermute, dass er der Mörder ist. Vielleicht sagt das jetzt dem Inspektor erst. Ja gut, was er da zu tun hat, weiß ich nicht.
How is the investigation going, Mr. Holmes? Do you have any idea who
Ja,
the
hab ich.
murderer is yet?
Hä? Kann ich hieraus noch was machen? Einwurf. Das hat ja nichts damit zu tun. Hä? Rot? Oh, Entschuldigung. Aber dieser Hörtley, der war ja ein anderer. Dieser Abonniert, das kann ich mir schon eher
How is the
vorstellen.
investigation going?
Ja, hab ich. Schöner Inspektor, du.
I'm not saying.
What am I doing?
Ich versteh's nicht. Muss ich zu der Frau ihr das vielleicht sagen? Dass ihr Liebhaber nicht der Mörder ist? Oder vermutlich nicht der Mörder ist? Ey, Heulsuse!
Leave me alone, please.
Was soll ich denn hier noch machen? Dieser Hurtley war ja wohl nur der Gärtner. Dieser Pete da war vermutlich der Mörder. Obwohl, ich habe noch diesen einen Zettel, habe ich doch noch, ne? Ja. Habe ich auch noch. TPR. August 83. Habe ich hier vielleicht noch irgendwas?
My archive. I can always consult with. My archive. I can always consult with it if needed.
You met Patrick Cairns.
Teleskop? Oh Gottchen, nein, ist das dein Ernst? Sherlock.
A map of London and the surrounding area. It could be useful. This is where I keep my post. My archive. I can always
Naja,
my analysis
ich habe keine Ahnung, was ich noch machen kann. Die hier wieder das da anziehen? Nö. ist ein Schloss vor. Aber der Anzug gefällt mir trotzdem mehr. Kann ich mich hinlegen, schon zu schlafen? Auch nicht. Kann ich Schach spielen? Auch nicht. Weiß ich nicht, was der damit zu tun hat, so wirklich. Ja, das ist ja der Tote. Hm. Aber das könnte es sein. Der Asservaten kann man noch was ist.
At your service, Mr.
Und
Holmes.
du sagst immer nur dasselbe, ja. Was haben wir hier? Da ist doch noch irgendwas.
These are the suspect's belongings. I wonder if these are connected.
CPR. Da.
Now we have the proof that Nelligan's papers were indeed here. It seems that they have vanished, however.
Das mit dem. Und die wollte der Junge wohl haben. Aber der ist doch viel zu schwach dafür. Da ist noch was. Ach so, ja. hier fehlt aber noch was. Von dem und dem. Was dann so rüber geht. Und das B leuchtet immer noch. Warum? Ja, wurde ja gesagt, Glückswurf könnte es gewesen sein. Wenn ich das so mache? Ah. Macht für mich keinen Sinn, aber okay. Ist das echt eine Gnade? Oder hat er ihn kaltblütig ermordet? Das ist jetzt wieder die Sache, ne? Hm. Ach, ich weiß es jetzt nicht. Mord ist allgemein nie gut. Er hätte ja auch abwehren können eigentlich. Och komm, keine Gnade. Ah, jetzt haben wir's. Am nächsten Tag.
If you wouldn't mind, Mr. Holmes, could you explain it to me?
Könnte ich.
As I informed you on our way here, Patrick Cairns is the murderer of Black Peter.
Why bring me here? Wouldn't it be better if we were out looking for him?
That would be futile, as he will be with us in approximately 12 seconds.
Oh, well, if this is your idea of humour...
No, I just heard the front door. Prepare yourself.
Good day, gentlemen. A young lad gave me a note from Captain Ahab. Am I at the right address? Is he here?
Indeed, it is the correct address. But in place of your captain, may I present to you Inspector Lestrade of Scotland Yard?
That means...
It means, my friend, that you are arrested for the murder of Black Peter.
What? What? A trap? You think you can take me?
Here now.
Willst du einen Schlag in die Fresse
We'll
noch von
have
mir?
none of that.
And I say that we will.
Autsch. Ich sagte von mir und nicht von dir. Obwohl, das war der Inspektor. Ja, ich kann nicht nur blind schießen, ich kann dir auch die Fresse einschlagen. Wie soll ich jetzt so schnell reagieren, Alter? Pass auf, ey. Jetzt kriegst du nochmal einen Pau auf die Schnauze, du. Bäm. Und zack. Und... Ich hab doch gedrückt, weh. Muss ich gedrückt halten, oder was? Ich nix verstehen. Nee. Kann ich nochmal zurück? Das war unfair.
Did he escape?
Yes.
I thought you were good at boxing, Mr. Holmes. Apparently there's...
How's your jaw?
Oh, it's fine. Mr. Holmes, all this is your fault. You should...
If that had been the case, then Cairns wouldn't have come here.
Well, maybe. I'm going now, Mr. Holmes. I'll...
Hm. Bestätigt. Nein, ich bin mir sicher. Hart durchgreifen hier. Oh. 61% haben ihn Gnade walten lassen. Pussys. Na ja, gut. Reduktionssymbol. Was ist jetzt?
This trip to the countryside will be good for you, Holmes.
Hmm.
As your friend and your doctor, I really do recommend that you...
Nein. Ist mir egal. Aber das ist schon der nächste Fall. Yep, das war der nächste Fall. Und deswegen sage ich schon mal, dass wir jetzt hier, ich glaube mal, das beenden sollten. Und den nächsten Fall beim nächsten Mal machen. Und daher sage ich Tschüss und bis dann.